Right, let's start today's session. In the last session, we were discussed about fundamental concepts in Python programming, that is comments and reserved words or keywords. And also we were discussed identifiers, variables. These are all fundamental concepts in Python we discussed. And today we'll look into some multiple assignment concept. And moreover, Python indentation also we discussed. That was very important concept. Indentation means how to maintain indentation level whenever we write some block of code, like if block or else block. Okay. So let me open your project first, Python full stack 7 a.m. Yeah. So today we'll see this multiple assignment here. So in the last session, these fundamental concept we discussed. Python indentation. Next, comment section in Python. Keywords or reserved words. Next, identifiers, variables, and now multiple assignment. Multiple assignment. Now today we'll see this multiple assignment concept. We were discussed in the last session all these five first fundamental concepts. Multiple assignment is the process of assigning single value to multiple variables as well as multiple values to multiple variables. So what is multiple assignment means? Multiple assignment is the process of assigning a single value to multiple variables, and also it is the process of assigning multiple values to multiple variables, multiple values to multiple variables actually. So let's see this, how we can assign a single value to multiple variables at once. And also we will see how to assign multiple values to multiple variables. So look at this. Generally, whenever we want to assign the value to the variables, this is the syntax. So simple syntax will follow, that is a equals to 10. We are assigning the value, that is a value, which we are assigning to the variable, 10 value we are assigning to the variable a. It's a simple assignment it is. So we, to assign the value to the variable a, we are using assignment operator, that is equals to. But I'm talking about multiple assignment. It's a process of assigning a single value to multiple variables. Means one value we can assign at a time multiple variables like b, c, and then 10. We are assigning one single value to 3 variables at once. So here a holding 10 variable value, so 10 value, b holding 10, and c holding 10. All 3 values we are printing clearly. This is multiple assignment. A single value I am assigning to at once 3 variables. Instead of separately assign like A10, B10, C10, you can also do it directly in one line. So one value we are assigning to multiple variables, we are printing them into separate lines. But still, if you want to, even you can display these values into same line also by using this print statement A and B and C here. So this is possible, sir. It's not a problem. So look at this. So when I try to print the variables here A, B, C in one line, so that this output also display in the same line like 10, 10, 10 like this. But I would like to give some separator between these output values. How to give the separator between these output values means simply there is a separator attribute is there in Python, SEP. It's a separator attribute. This attribute is used to separate the values, output values based on the separator. The separator always enclosed within the double quotes. In this double quotes, what separator you are mentioning, that separator will be applicable for this output values. Look at this 10, 10, 10 like this. Your separator can be of anything like colon or some space or anything you can provide that will be assigned in each and every value in between. Even if I want to give some lang gap between the values, then I can give this separator attribute through. So this will affect into my variable values. So this is the output, how you want to display based on which separator you can decide by using separator attribute. So it is attribute like this. We can separate the values by using comma symbol. Fine. So this is one type of multiple assignment. We are assigning one single value to multiple variables. And multiple assignment is also process of assigning multiple values to multiple variables. Okay, multiple values to multiple variables. That means what? Let's give the comment section in the line number 2 and let's go for this one. A, B, C equals to 10, 20, 30. This is also multiple assignment. We are assigning three values to the three variables in single line. So the orderly it will assign A value like 10, B value 20, C value 30. Again, we are printing this into output window like print ABC. So a 10, 20, 30 is coming like this. But look at this, if you want to display these lines, so let's comment this line. And now I'm printing this A separate line, B is in separate line, and C is in separate line. So now this time we can see we are printing each and every value separate line by line. This is three print statements I used here for printing this A and B and C values. But my requirement is still, though we use these three print functions to print A and B and C values in line by line, but still my output should be in the same line only, not like 10, 20, 30 in each and every line separately. I want to bring this output into same line only. We can bring that output into same line. So that means I want to avoid line jump. So to avoid that, you just go for another attribute like end attribute. So end equals to space I'm giving. So even it is not required to use end attribute for last variable because after C there is no variable. So that's what no need to use this last variable end. What is the speciality of end attribute means after printing A, then the output value will be ended with the space after space and the next value will be immediately displayed in the same line. Again, B value after space will come and next C value will display in the immediately same line. So even we are using three print functions, but still we are getting what actually same line output only here. But the reason is end attribute I'm using. If you don't want to move to next line, you want to make this output values in the same line only, then we can use end attribute. Can we also use end attribute along with the separator? Yes. Along with end attribute, we can use separator comma. So I'm using this end attribute through comma I'm giving. So 10, 20, 30 is displaying. But actually this end is not required for C. The reason is after C variable, there is no any other variable is there. So that's what we are stopping there. So this is end attribute will work like this. So simple. If you are having multiple print functions in our program, Generally, multiple print functions means each and every print function will execute separately and print the value in the output, but line by line will print. But you want to bring that output into same line. So how we can do that? End attribute through we can bring that output values into same line. If I remove this end attribute, so it will print into what? Line by line only. Say each line will be separately printed. Okay, this is the option available how we can print the values. So these are output statements options are there in Python. And this is as multiple assignment. We are assigning single value to multiple variables at once. And this is also multiple assignment. We are assigning 3 values to 3 variables in orderly. Okay. Yes. Mr. Rajiv, tell me.
Good morning, sir.
Tell me.
Sir, actually, as you just said that we can just make the separation of value. We can just make them the space as like you just put it over here, na?
Yeah.
Path print
Yeah.
bracket start A, comma B, comma C, comma
Yeah.
separate. You can
Yeah.
just get all the values in that format as well. So why should we use the format of print A, comma and equal to?
See, the thing is what actually you can also use it, I'm saying, but what I mean to say, if you use in a single line, it is okay, no problem. That is your wish. We say like this, we are in the same line only. But
Yes, sir.
sometimes what will happen actually, if you don't want to print the values into line by line, then we can use end attribute only. Though you are using multiple print function, you can bring them into same line only.
Okay, not only the value, any other thing if you will just put, right?
Yeah, that's what. Just an example, I'll tell you. Just a moment. Here it is. Maybe you think it is not required actually, even it's looking like this. But look at this one more example. If I try to say this, I'm using for loop, for example, for I in range of 10. Suppose just observe here, range of 10. Range will start from 0 and it's end with up to 10 only, including 10, not excluding 10, 0 to 9. These values are printing, range of 10 values are printing. How it is printing in my output window? Line by line. So
Yes, sir.
I need to scroll down and up if I want to see that huge number of values available in this output window. So I can bring them into same line. So that's what I need not to scroll down and up in my output window to see this all the values in my window. So it will come automatically all the values in the same line.
Got it, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. But here you may look this one, it's your thinking is right, but because we have an option like print ABC, then why I need to go for print ABC and that way? It's not required. But just I want to say that how we can bring them into the same line, though we are having some multiple statements, how to bring them into same statement, that is end attribute we can use.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. And this is the very important fundamental concept which I discuss in all these 6 fundamental concepts before going to write further code. So these all important: indentation, comments, keywords or reserved words, identifiers, variables, multiple assignment. Let's begin a new topic now. That's very, very important. Every task we are going to do through this topic only in future, that is called data types in Python. As I said in my previous lectures, Python is a dynamically typed programming language. That means as a programmer, you need not to specify any data type from our end. So based on the value, data type will decide internally. For example, here int a equals to 10, it's an invalid expression in Python because data types you should not use. And now you can see a10, it's a valid expression. So, but Python internally will decide the data type of the A variable based on its value. It doesn't mean that Python do not support data types. It's having a lot of data types. So we'll talk about that data types now. So generally, what is data type? Data type represent the type of data which is going to stored inside the variable. Who will represent generally? Data type represent data type represent the type of data of data which is going to store inside the variable. Who will decide? Data type will decide. But as a programmer, we are not going to decide at the time of writing the declaring the variables, but Python will decide data types internally based on your provided value. So that means in Python, we are not required to specify the type explicitly. Based on the value which you provided, then data type will be assigned automatically. So because it's a dynamically typed language. Python supports a lot of data types. So in that, I'm talking about first basic data types. So basic data type. Okay, basic data types. So basic data type means which is very commonly used data types are there. That is none. And next type is it's a numeric type. Numeric type classified into float, int float, bool, complex, and also sequence type here. Sequence data types, or we can call it as these are all data structures. Data structures also we can call it as these are the data structures which are available in Python. Sequence data types or data structure. I'm just continuing this all data types: string, list, tuple, set, dictionary, range, bytes, byte array, frozen set. These are all sequence data types or data structures in Python. We need to discuss all these data structures in detail. There is a lot of functions are available in each and every data structures. So it will take minimum 4 to 5 days to complete all these data structures in detail. But at this moment, we can't go through detailed discussion on this data structure because without completion of operator concept and control flow statements concept, we cannot move towards this deep discussion on this data structures. But I'll discuss clearly basic idea, and rules and regulations will discuss in detail. But later, once I complete operators, control flow statements like if condition, else condition, nested if, elif, for loop, while loop, nested loop, break, pause, continue, all these are comes into control flow statements. Once you know these are logic, then it will be easy to understand this each and every data structures, its functionality in detail. Okay, we need to apply the looping through and conditional through also on this data structures clear. So let's talk about first none. Generally, in other languages like C, C++, Java, C#, .NET, if the programmer wants to give the value to the variable that is nothing, means they can say null. So if they don't want to give any value to the variable in other languages, the programmers will use null, sir. But in Python, null will not be there. Instead of that, we could say none. None type in the sense nothing we are including inside the variable. That means we are not assigning any value to the variable right now at this moment. Now print A, then if you want to know the type of A, you know that type is a built-in function in Python. So I am assigning a none type to A. So Python will decide based on its value, a type of A is what type? None types are. Let's run this one. It's a none type only. Why we use this none? Because I don't have clarity right now at this moment, which value need to be assigned to my variable, but I need to declare them. But if you need to declare them in the sense, it's not correct way to declare. So declare after you should initialize something, but initialization, I don't want to initialize any value at this moment. Later, I'll assign some value to them. So temporarily, I'm just using none. None means nothing is there in this none type. If you decide later, if you want to assign the value to them, then you can remove this none and you can assign the type that is called 10. 10 is what? Integer type. Suppose if I use 10.9, it's a float type. So these are very basic types, int and float. But in Python, there is a possibility typecasting. Typecasting is the process of converting from one type to another. That means, suppose right now in this program, a value 10.9, it's a float type it's representing. I would like to convert this into integer. So it's possible. How to do? B equals to A. So now you can see print A or print B. Now what is the type of B here? You can see again integer float type only. Look at this. We just assigned the value which is already holding 10.9. A value I am assigning to B, but I need to convert this B A value 10.9 is integer type because it's already my value is float. How do convert that? Means just int of A. This is conversion. Then after converting this A 10.9, okay, then it will stored into what? B's are actually here. B equals to int of A. So let's see this. So 10.9 is the initial value. The type of 10.9 is what actually float. And I'm just converting this A into integer. And after converting that A float value to integer 10.9 is converting into integer and stored into B. So this is 10. Okay, 10 value here. So this is what converting from one type to another type. Float to integer type I'm converting. Even same thing you can do it. Your basic value is integer type, but you want, if you want to convert this into float, it's also possible, that is float type. So let's run this. We have integer to float we converted. Initial value of my A variable is what? 10. We converted into float, 10.0 is there. So this is typecasting. Even we can also convert from one data structures to another data structure, string to list, list to string, tuple to string, tuple to set, like that only. Same procedure we can do that. So these are very commonly used basic data types. Say, look at this, all of you. So actually, I forgot to tell you one thing. So yesterday, our team said that this meeting will be available only very less time. I think it's might be 10-15 minutes more. It will not come. So that's what I'm making you alert. So please try to cooperate today. So maximum 10-15 minutes. This meeting will continue. Otherwise, all of a sudden it might be closed because that's not in our hand. So due to some technical issue, they have said already. So I hope you also received the mail yesterday from our team onwards. So you can cooperate today. So tomorrow onwards, we will arrange a new link that is a paid link so that you can feel free to join on that link continuously. So today, just maximum 10-15 minutes, it will come around. So I'm expecting that. Just now I received the warning also. So please cooperate. All of a sudden, it might be closed also. You don't think bad, okay? So you can ask the new link to our team for tomorrow sessions. Clearly, they'll assist you how to do this. And coming to this int and float. So these are very basic type and conversion. But look at this. Right now, I have written some basic programming, but still, every time I just include the value inside the program, but I didn't accept any value at runtime. So let's show you. This is also important. How to accept the input values from the user. Okay. So first, you can see name equals to Mohan. This is not accepting value at runtime. Just I'm giving the name inside the program only. I'm assigning Mohan value to name variable. I'm just printing back that is name is comma name. So this is the simple program which is holding the value like Mohan is assigning to name only. I'm printing in the print statement name is Mohan. But I am asking you how to accept this value at runtime. Runtime in the sense input. You have to give your input values to the program. To give input values to the program or to accept some input values from the user in Python, there is a function called input function. So input is a built-in function. For example, how C programmers will use like a printf for output, scanf for input values to read the input values from the user. Same in Python, print is the output statement, what you want to display to the output, display it to the output window, and input is a built-in function to accept input values. So I'm using input function, just I'm asking like enter your name. So this input function through I'm asking the name, and now you can see enter your name means I'm entering the name here, runtime, and automatically it will read this name, and name is going to store here, and name is printing. And what type it is? Obviously string type, no? Look this. obviously string type. So I'm using Durgasoft here, and name is Durgasoft, but type is what type? str. So in Python, str represent string. So I'm just asking the name from the user end by using input function. That input function will accept the input characters from the user and stored into respective variable. That variable I'm printing back to the user by using print function. Also, I want to know that type of name, what type it is, string type only. Fine, this program is good. Now, next, what I'm trying to show you, it's very important program, just focus on it. So I'm trying to say test4 is another program. Look at these values are there, A10, B20, and simply I can say here C equals to A plus B. Two variables I'm assigning, sum is, then where is the sum value? C only, sir. Yes, this is okay, fine. So this is a very simple and straightforward program just for adding two numbers. So it's good because I have already assigned the values to the variables A and B inside the program 10 and 20, 10 plus 20, 30, 30 value is printing C here. But now this time, these numbers I should ask from the user. To ask from the user, again, I'm using input function, enter num1, and user will enter the num1. Again, I'm asking the input function, enter num2. So now you can see this time, as soon as when we execute, we have to give the values at runtime, num1 10, num2 20. Look at this, the output, we are expecting 30, but the output is coming 10, 20 here. The reason is what, it's an important reason actually. Whenever we are trying to do this 10 plus 20, this 10 will be treated as by default string. But strictly remember, in Python programming, whatever the values if you are providing during the program execution or runtime as your inputs, all user inputs, whatever we provide at runtime or program execution time, that will be treated as by default string. So two strings are concatenating here. Arithmetic addition is not performing. So 10 is a string, 20 is a string. That's what string concatenation is happening like 10, 20. But if you want to convert these two 10 and 20 values into integer format, then you have to do conversion specification. So we can convert that into integer. Later we can perform arithmetic addition. Let's see this how we can do that. But before that, I would like to show you whether it is string type or integer type. I should give the clarity. So that you will get clarity here. Print type of A. So what type it is, you will find here. You can see this. Print type of B. So let's look into this. I'm giving 10, it's a string. Look this. I'm giving 20, again it's a string. Two strings are adding. Then how we can add two numbers here while accepting values at runtime? In the sense, you should convert this A to integer. For doing this, x equals to int of A. Then print type of x is what actually integer now, because we are taking input value from the user and stored into a variable called A. But according to Python, all the input values are treated as string. So type is a string. This string convert into integer and store them into x. X is integer type. Similarly, we need to take the value from B and convert that B value into integer and store them into y. You can also notice print type of y is what? Integer. So finally, I recommend to add a plus b not x plus y. The reason is a plus b are string that's converting after that's stored into x and y variables. So x and y are integer. We will get appropriate output here. So let's see this. I'm trying to enter, my input is 10. First, initially it was treated as string. I converted into integer and stored them into x. Type of x is integer. And now 20, again it's treated as string. I converted that into integer, and type of y integer. We stored them into y, x plus y, 30 values coming. So this is the way to deal with input values. Even if you want to convert your input values into according to your requirement, different data types, you have to take care of conversion, that is typecasting. Look at the program length here. So is this good practice to write just for adding two integer numbers Is that required to add all these values, all this line number, total number of lines? No. Just for what we can say, for your idea, I included line by line what's going to happen internally. I need to say this, but this program we can able to maximum, we can filter it directly, sir. Let's see this, how I'm filtering this same program like this. We can also do it a equals to int of input of enter num1. This is correct. And b equals to previous program also correct, but just for clarity purpose, I include all the lines separately. You have to understand what's going to happen internally. So finally, we are doing that a plus b simple. Now you can see this program is quite enough. 10, 20. So now the execution is look like first input will be accept from the user, that is treated as string. Immediately that string converted into integer and stored them into a integer value. So two integers I'm adding clearly. But in this example, if I try to give one of the value is float, again you will get an exception. Look at this 12.3, my input is 12.3. So value error, this is an exception only. Invalid literal for int with base 10. So that means you have to be decide that clearly float here. So if you take this float conversion, then float conversion through, we can enter two integer numbers and also two float numbers, one float, one integer like this. But two integers also working fine. That result is float. And one integer, one float also working fine. The result is float. And two floats also we can use.